What's up, everyone? Welcome to Chris Things. I'm Chris, the one you love and hate to miss, and thank you so much for joining me today. I want to know something. Have you ever been at a point in your life where you were at a crossroad? You had an important decision to make, and you just didn't know which way to go? A place where you kind of felt lost and confused, and then all of a sudden, a bunch of random stuff started to happen, seemingly unrelated, but all connected to your issue. That's life syncing up on you. In this video, we're gonna learn exactly what are synchronicities, how to align your life to start receiving them, and practical ways to use synchronicities to change your life. And we're gonna do this all with a story time about how synchronicities start to show up in my life to hit the point home. Dictionary.com has a definition of synchronicity as an apparent meaningful coincidence in a time of two or more similar or identical events that are casually related. Things unrelated join together, they sync up. This is in your life. They seem like coincidences, but they absolutely are not. I'm gonna hit this point home telling you the story about where I was at a crossroad of what I was going to do with my life. College graduation. So let me set the stage. The year was 2009. I was a junior in college and I was getting ready to graduate the next year with a teaching of English degree. And anyone that remembers that time, it was the Great Recession. Jobs were not plentiful, and most college students around that junior year, entering their senior year, they're trying to figure out what exactly they are going to do when they graduate, because this will be the first time that you're going to be a real adult and have to make money. And at the time, I had my degree, my major was in teaching of English, but I honestly had no idea what I was gonna do with myself in my life. Was I going to become a teacher? Was I going to go to grad school? What exactly did I actually want to do? So aligning yourself for synchronicities means that you have to be open and receptive to receive things. You have to be ready for what life brings your way. You have to pay attention. And at this time, I started to receive a lot of information from random people in my life, and it started to sync up. I had a class with a young lady. It was a creative writing class, and she was about to graduate, and I asked her what was her plans at graduation, and she told me that she was going to go to law school. My ears peaked open. This is me now being open and receptive, because she was the first person that I actually have ever met that said that they were going to go to law school. At this time, I knew no attorneys. She was actually a young woman that looked like me. She was a Black young woman living in Chicago, and I didn't realize that this was a real thing. Obviously, I knew there were Black people that were attorneys, but I didn't know any, so I didn't realize that this was something that someone like me can actually do. Fast forward the next year, and I am now a senior myself, and I have a lab partner in a biology class. And she was getting to graduate like me, and I was talking to her about her job, and she mentioned to me that she was a paralegal. Now, at the time, I knew no other paralegals, so however, I did know that paralegals worked at law firms, and I have it in the back of my mind that I just met someone the year prior who was going to law school. So I asked her, had you ever think about becoming an attorney? And she told me, actually, yes, it was her plans to go to law school once she graduates. This is where the synchronicity starts to happen. Before, I knew no one that was an attorney. I didn't know anyone that went to law school. I knew nothing about the process. Now, within a few months time frame, I met two women who were similar to me. They went to the exact same school that I went to, and they were both minorities, and they both were talking about going to law school. Life started to sync up. Being open to receiving information, the idea now was planted. A seed started to grow. Moving forward, I also had two teachers at the time at the university. They both were in the graduate program to become professors to get their PhD, one in the College of Education and one in the College of English. They took an interest in my post-collegiate experience, and they sat down with me in their separate office hours to talk about what exactly I plan to do when I graduate. I spoke with one, and she was in the College of Education. She told me that straight out of school, I should become a teacher, that I should make sure that I get certified and I'll get a job right away. And there's plenty of teaching jobs and students, that need passionate teachers. And as a young Black woman, I was guaranteed to get a job in this climate. I was a little unsure of that. Yes, I had my degree in teaching of English, and I thought I wanted to be an English teacher, but in the back of my mind, I still realized that teachers didn't make a lot of money, and I was coming out of college with debt. The other, she was getting her PhD in English, and she was going to teach English classes in the collegiate level. And she basically told me, she asked me the same question about what were my postgraduate plans. And I told her, I'm not really sure. I'm probably gonna get a job. Maybe I'll just get a teaching job, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, you know what? I think you would be an excellent candidate in the PhD program for English. She went down the same path as saying that as a Black woman, I would make a great candidate. There's not many of us in this field, and it's something I should really consider. So now I have 3 ideas in my head that's swirling around. Do I become an English teacher? Do I go after the PhD in English? Or potentially law school? I didn't think about it too hard, but remember, the seed was planted with those synchronicities. Fast forward to graduation, and I had a graduation party that my parents threw for me. I had a cousin that was there, and she asked me where did I plan to live. And I told her I was gonna live with a different cousin. She was in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. However, at the time, I didn't have a car. I didn't have a job lined up. I didn't have anything, right? So she was like, okay, so how do you plan on getting to job interviews in the suburbs? Wouldn't it be easier if you lived in the city? Because at least you can take public transportation. And I was like, yeah. So Cuzzy, and I am forever thankful for her for this. She actually said, how about you move in with me? I'm about to move out of my parents' apartment, and I got my own place, and it's a 2-bedroom, and you can sleep in a spare bedroom. And until you get on your feet, you don't have to pay any rent. I graciously accepted, and I moved in with her. However, at this time, I still didn't have a job lined up, and it was a very scary time. So instead of sitting around all summer, what I decided to do was actually take the train to my university, and I started to research law school. From there, I realized that the first step was the LSAT. So each day I would actually take the train back up to my university, go to the library, and I would study for the LSAT all summer long. At the end of the summer, I got my first I didn't get my first teaching job. At the end of the summer, I got my first job as a paraprofessional at an elementary school and an aftercare teacher. Now, this is where the third synchronicity happened. I met a young lady at this job, and we were casually talking with one another, and she mentioned that she was a law clerk prior to working there. And I told her, oh, I am studying for the LSAT right now. And we instantly clicked. She told me she was actually thinking about going to law school too. She then started to give me a breakdown about everything I need to know about the process of getting into law school and the best law schools within the Illinois area, and the programs I should apply to and the reasons I should apply to them. And once again, life was sinking. This is all within now a year's time frame of these events. Seemingly unrelated things, but 3 different young women that I met in 3 different places. Prior to this, I knew no one in the legal field, and then all of a sudden I started to meet young women similar to me who all was connected to it in some type of form, fashion, or shape or way. And they were telling me that that was their plans to go to law school. I was seeing people who looked like me who were actually pursuing this. This was life syncing up for me and to show me that this is a path. If I was not aligned to start receiving these synchronicities, they never would happen. And the way that you align yourself to receive them, 1, you have to be receptive. You have to be open to receiving. If you are closed off and you think that nothing will ever come your way, nothing will ever come your way. So first things first, know that things will happen. At the end of my junior year, senior year of college, I knew that something would happen for me. I knew that I wouldn't be in a position where I would be jobless or careerless forever. I just knew that something eventually would happen. I would figure out exactly what it was I wanted to do with my life, but I had to be open to that for the synchronicities to start to come my way. Another way that you align yourself to receive these synchronicities is to work on your self-worth. If you know that you are worthy or deserving of whatever it is you may want, or a great outcome or a great life, then life will also show you that as well. If you feel unworthy or undeserving, you won't notice these synchronicities or they won't start to happen with you. So if it takes therapy, if it takes journaling, if it takes affirmations, there are all different types of ways for your self-worth to increase so that you can start receiving these synchronicities to show you your path. And then finally, practice gracefulness and thankfulness. If you are not thankful and graciously thankful, you won't continue to receive synchronicities. Life won't give if you can't be thankful for what you're giving. So practice that, please. Finally, you have to actually act upon the synchronicities to have them change your life. I told you that I would give you a practical way to use synchronicities to change your life, and that's acting upon it. Once life starts to align, you need to take action. You need to respond to it, period, point blank. In my post-collegiate story, I took action by starting to see what exactly law school was about. What did it take to become a lawyer? And then I started to study for the LSAT. Life started to sync up, and I knew then that this is something for me, and I had to take the action. Once life starts to sync up for you, take the action to move yourself that way. First steps first, study, learn exactly what it is you now have to do to achieve that goal that you know you have. Please comment down below and tell me ways that your life started to sync up or you start to see synchronicities. Did you actually take action upon them? Did you align yourself to start receiving these things to sync up in your life? Let me know. Like, comment, and subscribe, please. And you can get more videos like this. I can give more practical advice about career, lifestyle, just overall wellness and becoming a better self for you. Thank you. Bye.